Everyone, welcome back. We're back with the 4.8 DX2 with 606 megahertz. We're installing it today. Windows 3.11 using a floppy disk. You'll see the pain, but don't worry. I'm going to advance the video. You won't have to keep watching the floppy disk and reading the whole time. So I'm going to advancing the image. You can see the sound square there, the Mara installed. Joystick. Look at the joystick here. I recorded it in the previous video, playing stunts really badly. Driver still learning. The first year of my provisional license. So joystick on port 201, sound IRQ5 DMA1, address 220. I'm going to install it. Of course, something interesting is going to happen. Not interesting, something... It's not interesting, I don't know what the word is. But the sound I installed, I had to simulate a Windows folder and pretend that I already had Windows installed. I'll need to reinstall the sound after Windows is installed to install it on Windows as well. To install on MS-DOS, I had to create a temporary folder and I had to pretend I had Windows. So let's go. I'll put in the first diskette. Note that there are 9 floppy disks. In my hand, of course, they're not originals. They're copies of the originals I have. So there are 9 diskettes, but only 7 diskettes will be used. The other 2 are related to printers. So here we go. The floppy disk in the driver. Letter A. Details, then I'll show you how to install. From the hard disk, you can copy the files to the hard disk. For C2 points, you can copy the files, and it's quicker than installing because installation takes longer. So I'm going to make a video of installing the floppy disks first. Of course, everyone knows how to change a floppy disk. That's the least of it. But then I'm going to copy these files for you, 2 points, and do an installation. Faster. I'm not simulating, I'm actually executing a real computer. You see, it exists. It's not a simulation. It's here. It's not a green background pretending. It's real. It's similar to the first computer I had back in '96, and that's how I used it. You're not going to say I suffered. I enjoyed it because I liked it. There were times when you had to spend a whole day formatting your computer to install the programs. So here I have Dear, a little keyboard with hard keys, old, Dear.exe, and I will use config. Note that generally in new Windows the command is install, config, and it will start by installing a Windows 3.11. Windows was not an operating system at the time. Was a graphical interface. The operating system was MS-DOS, which was for Windows to open. If you delete the MS-DOS files and leave only the system files, the computer will boot up, but it will be missing many commands, many files that are executed in MS-DOS mode. I'm going to show you some essential commands to use in MS-DOS regardless of whether you have Windows or not. You need to use these commands quite often, so let's make a video talking exclusively about these main commands. There are commands that we won't use. There are commands that the system will use. Use it. There it is. You've read it. It's in the installation part. And it asks if I want to install Windows now. If I don't want to, just press F3 to exit. And if I want to learn a bit more, I press the phone, then press Enter. Quick or customized configuration, I'll choose Quick. Custom will give you the option to disable some functions, some programs that will be installed together. The installation has started. So as not to take too long, I'm going to speed things up. I'll come back when I need to comment. Well, there you are. You asked me to change the diskette. The first floppy disk read OK. I'm worried about a disk error, because if I get a disk error, I'll have to rewrite it. Disk 2. That's it. You're in the graphical interface. You can continue now. Name. I'll put it here. Tech House Internet. So subscribe, leave a like. @Tech House Internet. We also have my life as a computer technician, that I posted this video. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change my life as a computer technician, which is the channel that you'll be watching this video on. Company, Tech House. I'll put it here, Tech House Internet. That's it. There are 2 channels. If you haven't signed up yet, you can. My life as a computer technician and Internet Tech House. You'll like them both. Have subjects related to technology and computing. Telecom. Only my LCT is more focused on the progress I've made during my life, and you'll like that there are lots of computers I've had, lots of old games that we're going to play. On TH Internet, we have more specific training. Sign up there, then press enter. Typical floppy disk reading noise. He made the first mistake. I was already afraid of that. Let's see if he'll continue. Depending on the file, I'll ignore it. If it's a text file, for example, an HLP, I'll ignore it because it won't be needed. It'll be the scheduler. Scheduler plus? I think it's an agenda, something related to the agenda. When it has this difficulty, it's the famous bad sector, and I ignore it. I'll ignore it if it's just this one, no problem. This one I can't ignore, this one can't give an error, and in 3.8.5 it's needed, it's going to be essential for memory management. If that one goes wrong, I'll have to make another copy. He didn't make it either. I'll have to make another copy of the disk. That could happen. MS-DOS has 3 copies. This one I only made 1 copy because it eats 7 floppy disks. But I'll have to make a copy and correct it. Let's go for a walk. Well, disk 3 overwriting. it says it can't read the files. Well guys, I've given up on the floppy disks. As you can see, there was a copy error. I made several copies to try to correct it, but unfortunately the floppy disks, despite being new. But as I said, they're old stock diskettes. There were a lot of mistakes and I thought it was going to be a lot of work. As you can see, I used them, I made several copies, so I gave up and boxed up the diskettes. But you're going to ask how you're going to make the copy then?